Hey everybody! Today we're going to be working on my Springdale Summerland Mini RD1750. I bought this camper a couple years ago and we've had it out 5 times. It's done very well, no issues for the most part, some little things here and there. So let me go over what happened to us the last time we had it out, or the second to last time we had it out. We went to Michigan, and when we went to Michigan I noticed that there was some water on the floor in the bathroom right in this area. I'm like, where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? So this is a Dometic Model 300 toilet, and this is the water valve right here. So at first I thought what the problem was that this is the water inlet line to the valve, and I thought what had happened is, you know, it's got a rubber O-ring gasket in here. And I thought maybe that it had shrunken. So I reached in here and I tightened it up and I cleaned all the water up, and let's see what happens. And I didn't see any leak, So we went and, went out for the day, came back, and sure enough, there was water on the floor again. So I got a little closer look, and what had happened is see this hose clamp here? I put that hose clamp on here. What had happened is when they molded the valve together, the two halves, it had split where it was molded in half. Now, I don't know if it molded in half just because it wasn't molded properly, or maybe I didn't get all the water out of the valve and it froze. But I don't think it froze, because what I do is I blow all the water out of the lines with an air compressor. So I don't think there was any water left in the line. I think it was just a malfunction in when they did the molding process. So what we have here is we have the brand new valve. So looking at it, it's quite simple the way it works. When you step on the pedal, you push here, and that brings the water in here and up through this hose into the bowl. So you can see there's a clip here that holds it in and a clip here that holds it in. And when I was looking, I noticed, hey, there's 2 screws, because there's a place to put a screw here and a place to put a screw on the other side. So I was like, well, I just thought it clipped in. And then up there's they also give you a hose clamp to clamp the hose back onto this. Let me get this out of the package, and I'll come back and I'll show you it out of the package. Alright, here's the water valve out of the package, and this is what it comes with. It comes with a new hose clamp, and it comes with 2 screws, okay? And then, if anybody needs the part number, right here it says 300, so it's a Model 300, and that is the part number for this valve, if anybody needs to know. So I already took my mirror and looked underneath there, and they have a screw in this lower hole here. So, and also, too, the clamp they have up on the top here is one of these crush clamps. So I'm going to have to cut that clamp off. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here. First thing I'm going to do is you want to make sure that your water pump is off. You want to make sure that the street water is off. Well, I'm not hooked up, and I have the camper winterized, so I don't have to worry about any water leaking out. I still am going to throw a towel down, but there shouldn't be any water in that line. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. Once I get that off, then I'm going to go take the screw out, which you're going to be working blind to get that screw out. Once you get that screw out, you should be able to take a screwdriver, push on this one and push on this one, and then this valve will pop out. And of course the crimp is on the back side, but once I get the valve out, I can twist it around to get that cut off. So let me set up and I'll come back. Alright, well, I got the camera up in here in my tripod, so let's get some paper towels just in case. Just in case there is anything in line. So we're going to unscrew this line. And like I said, see, there's nothing. So I'm just going to push this on back so it's out of my way. So now, let me see if I can get the camera around here so you can, well, you can see. If you look right here, there is that screw that I'm going to have to get out. So I'll have to take that screw out next. Let me put you back up in the corner here. Todd, help me out here. Work with me. I think you all still can see. Yeah, I'm doing this kind of blind. So, all right. So, the screw is a 1/4 inch. So I got my 1/4 inch socket here. Actually, we don't need the paper towel. Like I said, there's no water in here. And then sometimes it's a very good idea to have a mirror so you can look in here and see what you're doing. And a flashlight, which I always have a flashlight. Okay, well, I had to put 2 hose clamps on this. So the hose clamp that I put on here to keep it from leaking is keeping me from getting that lower screw. So I need a screwdriver. I need a screwdriver to take these clamps off. So I'm quite lucky that I did have some clamps, and I was able just to put the clamp around it and pull that joint back together. And after I did that, there was no more leak. Okay, so now that I got that out of here, it's right in this very bottom corner. Yep, I'm on it. It's a 1/4 inch. Try not to knock you guys over doing this. So now I see that the screws, now that I got the screw loose, you can see that the valve is coming loose. So the screws are very important. All right, so now I got the screw out. You set that out of the way. Now all you should need to do is push down on that one and push down or push up on the bottom one. Where's the hole? Now I've got my mirror. Let's see. Yeah, the hole's right there. All right. And like I said, there we go. There's the valve has pushed out. Let me grab the camera out. So there's the old valve, and so now what I have to do is I have to get a pair of dikes, and I have to cut this clamp off. Then this hose will slide off, then I'll go get the new valve. And I did not bring, I have a pair of diagonal cutters to do that. Let me go get my diagonal cutters and I'll come back. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just spin this around. I have my diagonal cutters. And since I don't really care about this valve, I usually you just take and kind of cut and twist at the same time. That should be loose enough. And then there we go. There's the old valve. Old valve's off. The old clamp came off. So now we have the new clamp. Here's the new clamp. And it's really, really too huge. So I'm going to go ahead and run it down a little bit. So the valve's going to be in here, and I want to be sure I can get to this clamp in case I need to tighten it up if I don't have it tight enough. So put the hose on, and I'm going to put the clamp in this position so I can get to it easily the next time. Let's see, it's going to sit in there just like that. Tighten that up. Okay, that feels pretty good. Now this here is just gonna push back in and snap into place. Now they did give me 2 new screws, but I really don't think I'm gonna need to use the 2 new screws. I'm gonna put the 1 new screw in, so I'm gonna take my mirror and come back in here and get an idea of where the screw needs to go, which is in that lower corner. I hope I still have you in frame. Yep, so it's in that this lower corner, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get it started by hand. Which I just did, and I knocked you all over. And now I'll just reach in with the socket and the extension. It's a 1/4 inch. Using a 1/4 inch drive. And you know, I don't think you really need to tighten down on it really super tight just because it's going into plastic. You just want it snug, and I screwed that, it screwed all the way in. But I'm going to just give it just a little tug until it feels tight. I'm talking just barely tight. And now it's nice and tight. So now you pull your water line. You want to take your flashlight. Where'd the flashlight go? In my pocket. I don't know where I set my flashlight. Oh, there it is. It rolled away. It rolled away, it rolled away. All right, so now you want to take and come in here and just look at that gasket there. You know, this camper's fairly new. It still looks good. So now I just pulled that back out. You want to make sure that this is started and snug also, not too tight. All right, and there, the job is done. So as you can see, let me turn the screen on. Here's the old valve, and that, where my thumb is right there, there's a casting mark, and it was leaking out of that casting. See, there's another casting mark at the bottom. So luckily I was able to put a hose clamp around this section and tighten it down, and that squeezed this part back together to keep it from leaking. So there you go, everybody. That's how you change the toilet water valve on your Dometic Model 300 plastic toilet. Like I said, I'm not sure if that valve was just defective from the get-go, that it wasn't molded properly, or maybe it froze. I'm going to be a little bit more diligent and make sure I get all the water out of this valve next time. Maybe next time, after when I'm winterizing, I will actually take this off and make sure that there's no more water left in the valve. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks.